And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Live, Laugh, Left podcast. Continuing season 4. As promised, Garry is back in full glory. He decided to shower for the first time this year in the occasion of returning from the podcast.
What? What do you mean? Is it because my hair is never like this?
You had to new look, hairdo.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, to be honest, don't have much to go over. Sorry, hold on.
You hear something?
I don't know what that was, but we're gonna ignore that.
Okay, my computer automatically turned on last night, and I was just like,
we got a lot to go over. Actually, not a lot to go over. Bristol and the things that did and did not happen there. Some silly season news, not a lot. And then, of course, a big weekend coming up as we will preview The Rock. He's back. Talk all about that later.
but not for the Cup Series.
No. We got a lot to go over, though. From Bristol. Not really. I don't know why I keep saying that. I just do. Because I say it every episode. And most times it's true. This time it's not. Let's talk about the truck race first. Connor Mozak spun early. Not too much happened there. Ty Majeski and Frankie Muniz wrecked. Which collected Stuart Friesen and Brandon Jones. All wrecked. Biggest wreck probably of the entire weekend, honestly. Tony Breidinger wrecked in stage 3. And actually there was a bit of a rain delay in the truck race as well. Which kind of killed the chance at Corey Heim winning, because he was actually dominating the race. Not dominating, but he had taken the lead from Chandler Smith. And then it was starting to pull away, and then the rain came, and then, because I didn't actually watch the race, I was busy, and so I didn't get a chance to actually watch the race. But like the highlights were showing, like they showed Corey Heim taking the lead from Chandler Smith, and then the rain coming, and then then the next highlight is 5 to go, and Chandler Smith is like, there's nobody near him. Like, you couldn't have shown why that happened. It was kind of weird. But anyways, Chandler Smith pulled away and took advantage of the rain delay and was able to pick up the win for the first time in a while in the Truck Series. So, good job for him. Xfinity wasn't much more crazy. Baggio hit the wall early. Sheldon Creed went around. And he ended up getting stuck in the middle of the track, and as cars were trying to avoid him, Brendan Poole couldn't get out of the way and took a massive, and I mean massive, hit. One of the biggest hits I have seen, especially at Bristol, in a long, long time. The entire car came apart. Thankfully, both guys were okay. But it was kind of funny during the race, because I did get a chance to watch the Xfinity race. It was kind of funny because they were doing a lot of coping for these Xfinity drivers not knowing what brakes were. They were talking about, like, oh, it's so hard to get slowed down. And yeah, it was hard to get slowed down, especially with the banking and whatnot. But isn't that what spotters are for? Do spotters just not exist anymore? Do they not, can they not warn the driver? And obviously the grip isn't probably that great, but it has to be better than that, because Brendan Poole was flying. and he had a good amount of distance. There was a good amount of distance between the drivers, and they still had that heavy of a hit. I don't know necessarily how it works. I don't know if I'm talking out of my ass or if they're talking out of their ass. To me, it sounded like a little bit of coping from the Xfinity announcers. Just saying. Massey spun. Sawalich rear-ended Connor Zilic. William Sawalich rear-ended Connor Zilic in the checkup from the spin, which ended his day. Zilic was able to continue. And other than that, was nothing really too notable. Kyle Larson dominated pretty much the entire race. At one point, he was on track to lap everybody except like 4 other guys, and was just putting on a clinic. And ended up pulling off the win, as he did. So, and if you thought that was fun, guess what? It was pretty much a carbon copy in the Cup race, minus any of the wrecks. Yeah. I'll tell you right now.
I was just gonna say, the last time we had a big wreck like that in a, NASCAR race was when, what was it, Michael Waltrip hit the opening and closing door, and it just broke the whole entire one half of the car, and it split.
And that was a long time ago. That was like the 90s.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago that happened.
Reference, that's how safe Bristol was, and then all of a sudden, this happened.
Yeah. Fortunately, nobody got hurt in this one, but it is hopefully just a freak accident. But yeah. So Shane Van Gisbergen spun in stage 2 of the race in the Cup. Guess what? That was the only caution for on-track incident.
Contract?
All day. Can we just talk, by the way, before we get to the rest of this race? Shane Van Gisbergen has been god-awful this season. Especially on the short tracks. He has been awful. He's only been competitive in one race, and that was COTA. He took a very dumb pit strategy that took him out of contention to that race. But he's been terrible. Martinsville, he was awful. Here he has been awful. He hasn't done shit other than COTA. Dude, I don't even think he's in top 35 in points right now. He might be just because of that run at COTA. But he's been fucking terrible. I thought he would at least be half decent. But no, he's been fucking terrible.
I tell you, he's a one-trick wonder. He had that one good race at Chicago Street Course, and now everyone was praising him. And look what happened. He ain't good on the oval tracks. He just needs to go back to what he was doing. Because it's like the Danica Patrick situation. Danica Patrick was good at IndyCar, and she came to Cup cars, and
Really nothing else crazy happened in this race. Alex Bowman got the pole, but then was plagued with some mechanical issues in the second stage, and he ended up DNFing in the back, so not a good run for him. It was a good day, though, for the Spire cars. Justin Haley was up contending for the lead at one point, and Carson Hocevar was on track for a top 5 finish until his pit crew screwed him over on the last pit stop of the race and pretty much took him out of contention, so that was quite hilarious to see. And Haley ended up falling off, but still a good day, I think, for the Spire cars. If it wasn't one of the most boring races I've ever seen in my life, they might have had a shot at it. But unfortunately, we had a rarity at Bristol where just fuck all nothing happened. And of course, the day was dominated, and I mean dominated, by Kyle Larson, as he really led nearly flag to flag en route to the win. I mean, he swept the stages, he won the race. I think they said there were only 4 lead changes all day at Bristol, mind you. And 2 of those lead changes came on a green flag pit stop cycle. Again, we're talking about Bristol here and green flag pit stops. That's how bad it was.
Even in dirt, it was like that. I mean, that's why I'm upset that the dirt track race is over with. Bring dirt back. Listen to Chase Briscoe. Bring Dirty Bristol back.
But guys, I can't complain. Guess what? I picked Kyle Larson. Well, no, I didn't pick Kyle Larson in fantasy. My dad did because I crashed out and I said I'm not picking anybody anymore in fantasy. So he picked Kyle Larson in fantasy. We picked him back-to-back weeks. That's usually not a good way to go, but it worked.
I was just waiting for you to say on Discord yesterday, or not yesterday, on Sunday, oh, dang it, I picked Denny Hamlin to win.
We almost did. We almost did because we picked Hamlin at the Spring Bristol race last year, and it was our only win that meant anything. And which is pretty funny because now we're 2 for 2 at the Bristol Spring race, which is pretty wild. But we did it. We picked up a win, and we swept the stages. I mean, that was best possible day. So you know what? Some good did come out of this shit show of a race.
And people got to see Kyle Larson roast the heck out of Denny Hamlin.
That was pretty funny.
I was watching Denny Hamlin's podcast, and he goes, I was cheering for Kyle Larson until he said what he said, and then I was like, you know what? Screw your win.
Sure, buddy.
No one likes Denny Hamlin, and if you are a subscriber out there that is a Denny Hamlin fan, stay subscribed. Please, comment on this below. Tell us you're a Denny Hamlin fan. I mean, we're not Denny Hamlin fans. You know exactly what fans we are.
Drew.
We're Napa know-how people. Right?
Napa know.
Actually, I'm just Hendrick anything, to be honest. I could be a William Byron fan.
My Halloween costume this year, I'm going to dress up that costume that Michael Waltrip wore during that Napa commercial when he plays the piano, and he just, it'll be a striptease.
Well, my favorite Michael Waltrip moment, and it was with Denny Hamlin. He had a taco in his hand, and he brings out the taco, and he don't accidentally spill some on Denny Hamlin's car. Denny Hamlin's like, you just spilled it on my car.
Yeah, you just spilled it on my car. Anyway, that was Bristol. I mean, I think we got to come to the realization that the next-gen car still sucks on short tracks. Martinsville, I thought, was a pretty decent race, all things considered. Bristol was just fucking terrible. They fixed the tire wear issues. There wasn't that much of an issue. But in reality, that actually made the racing a little bit better compared to this year. Because at least if you had the tire problem thing, you could have had maybe Larson had been threatened for the lead. And they didn't have that. So it was pretty unfortunate, but the night race will be better. It always is. But hey, I can't complain. I did good in fantasy this week, so
perfect.
That's Bristol. I'm going to put it in the books.
Now the truck series at a racetrack that we missed.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
So Catherine Legg announced the remainder of the races that she is going to be running this season. She's going to be doing some other Cup races as well as Xfinity. So she's going to be doing the Cup races at Mexico, the Mexico race, Chicago, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and Richmond. Or she'll be driving for Live Fast Racing. And she's also going to be doing Xfinity races at this coming weekend at Rockingham, as well as Talladega, Texas, Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta, and Indianapolis, with Jordan Anderson Racing. So she's going to be doing a good amount of races. Hopefully it goes better than her debut did. But that'd be pretty cool. And also, she is not doing the Indy 500. A lot of people thought she was going to do the Indy 500. She is not doing the Indy 500. She confirmed that, which is an interesting choice for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how she does in that role. Jesse Love is going to be doing a couple more Cup races this season with Beard Motorsports. He'll be doing Texas and Indianapolis in their Cup ride. And the only other silly season news I had, Netflix released the trailer for the NASCAR Full Speed Season 2. Just I think today, time recording this. It came out earlier this week. It's coming May 7th. So I will try and watch it when it comes out, and then we can review it on the podcast. So.
And don't you have another thing that you have to look at? A network, some sort?
I already did that. You weren't here with that for that episode, so this is why you gotta have your attendance fixed, so you here for all the big moments.
Listen, I'm a busy man now.
Busy man, says the guy with only one job. I have 4 jobs. Anyway, that's all the silly season news I had. I don't know if you had any. Or not, Gary?
Nope. Nothing. Nope. Nothing's came up. I know, actually, Bristol Motor Speedway actually had their first race a couple weeks ago. So, other than that,
then without further ado, this is a weekend that a lot of us have been waiting for.
I know I have.
It's been a long time coming.
2013.
NASCAR is heading back to Rockingham. Yep, for the first time since 2013. For the Xfinity Series, it's the first time since 2004. Trucks and Xfinity this weekend. No Cup. Cup Series is off this weekend for Easter.
I did look up that the last time the Truck Series was there, Kyle Larson got his first ever career win. And who was 5th place? Chase Elliott. And Brandon Gaughan finished 3rd.
It was a long time ago.
Heck yeah. I mean, now look at them. They're in the Cup Series and they both won championships. Other than Brandon Gaughan, we don't talk about him. But, I mean...
True. This is going to be a really fun weekend. Hoping I get to watch both of these races. I've never watched a Rockingham race live. I was alive for the last few Cup races that were ran there, but I was like a toddler, so I obviously didn't watch them, and I didn't watch the truck race because I didn't really watch trucks at the time. But now they're going to be back. And, Rockingham, when it was in its prime, was known for a very tire adverse track with high banks and whatnot. But really, the high banks will still be there, but it's obviously going to be a fresh paved track, so I don't think there'll be any of the tire adverse problems. But it's going to be interesting to see how these new cars and trucks can work on the track, and the fact that there is a lot of drivers in both of these races that never raced at Rockingham before. They've heard about it, they've seen footage of it, but they've never actually driven on the track. So it's going to be very interesting how that's going to work out. But also, I expect the fan experience to be great, just like it was when they returned to North Wilkesboro. I think that'll be fun too. I'm hoping the racing's a little bit better. It should be. It's a more competitive surface, like I said. And I'm just really excited to see how it goes. I'm really excited to see, the fan reactions and how everything goes, because it's a truly historical moment. People have been asking for this for a long, long, long time, and now it's here. So, well, it will be here in approximately an hour and a half at the time of this video going live. So, but who do we think is going to win this weekend? Let's start with the trucks. Who do we think is going to win the first truck race at the Rock in 12 years?
I think that the guy who played Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving number 33, he go win. There's no Cup drivers, actually. I'm now looking. There is no Cup drivers racing in this race.
I'm going to go with the guy who I know raced at that Rockingham race in 2013. Probably won't win, but he at least has experience. And that's Matt Crafton.
Holy crap. Now that you just said that, Matt Crafton's still racing today. Jesus Christ, we're getting old.
Yes, we are.
Alright. Xfinity.
Let's see. Well, there's nobody that would have been racing in Xfinity back in 2004 that's still racing, unfortunately. So, I have to go with... I don't know why. This might be the day that Ryan Sieg finally gets his first win. Be a crapshoot. Maybe he can take advantage of that and get the win. I'm going to go with him.
Me? I'm going to go with a guy that's actually raced at that track before. It wasn't in an Xfinity Series, but it was in a Cup Series. He's driving for Joey Gase Motorsports. Go with J.J. Yaley.
Bold choice.
J.J. Yaley.
But I like it. I like the boldness that you have.
Even though he's driving a Joey Gase car, it ain't gonna win.
So he'll probably crash.
Most likely. But you can always hope and dream.
Drew? That's our predictions, everybody. It should be a lot of fun. Very, very excited to see how it goes. And we'll break it down for you next week. When we recap Rockingham, we get back to Cup Series action. And things go smooth. Things go great. So it should be a lot of fun. So it's going to do it, though, for this episode. Stay tuned for much more amazing content. As always, stay tuned for the series as well. Content from stay tuned. Happy Easter to everybody who celebrates. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.